So I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So a lot of modern day parenting advice, I think, starts with this idea, this underlying assumption that you have to unlearn how you were parented in order to be better, in order to be a better parent. And while I think that this idea is very emotionally compelling, it's really not how learning or behavior change actually works. And today in my closet, I want to give you a different perspective based primarily on applied behavior analysis and rudimentary understanding. Rudimentary. We're going to try diving deeper, but rudimentary understanding, for me at least, for how the brain works. Responses are shaped far more. Great bridge, right? By the way, we're starting. I'm starting now. Oh man. Okay. So your responses are shaped based on your current environment. And that word's going to get real annoying. Current is going to get really annoying. Stressors, reinforcement, rather than your childhood memory alone. And once you understand this, it helps you shift away from this blame, the blaming ourselves, blaming our parents, and shifts us closer and far more towards a practical skill-based change, which is going to be more helpful. The reality is behavior change doesn't come from rejecting our past, right? It comes from learning within, drumroll please, I swear I'm not obnoxious, your current environment. Responses are learned behaviors, but they're not just from how you were raised, okay? They're shaped by your current, maybe I'll just do that, your current parent-child relationship, what behaviors reliably stop, reduce, and de-escalate those situations, the current demands, the current stressors, and the current supports or lack of supports in your environment that you are experiencing. ABA specifically asks very practical questions. What is working right now? What isn't? What skills would be more effective in this context? And again, rudimentary understanding of how the brain works, it supports this idea, right? This idea that our responses as parents are learned through, yes, both past experiences that have been reinforced and present contingencies. If a response that I engage in reduces chaos, ends conflict quickly, or helps me regain a sense of control, my brain is more likely to reuse it, regardless of where it originated from. That means that some patterns persist, but not because that they're old or that that's how we were raised. It's because they still function, and in the moment they work, even if maybe they're not necessarily ideal long term. Now, when I say that our brain defaults to the most practiced responses, I'm not talking about what your parents did. I'm referring to the responses that you use most often in your current environment, under your current stress levels. Okay, that's still annoying, so I'll stop that too. Under stress, your brain is still going to prioritize speed and efficiency. It's going to select the responses that have been reinforced the most recently and have been repeated. And it doesn't necessarily mean those are the ones that align with your past. That's why insight alone doesn't really change behavior. Now, I think I'm gonna go on a tangent. Real quick, I swear, just stick with me. Trauma. I think that's another thing, another word that's kind of thrown out there with this whole, we need to unlearn our traumatic pasts. Trauma has a very specific meaning. It means that there is an overwhelming input combined with insufficient safety and support. And not every firm limit or raised voice or outdated strategy actually meets that threshold. When all past parenting experiences are framed as trauma, we lose nuance, we lose the developmental context, and the ability to distinguish what is actually harmful. What's important is that we evaluate the function and the impact, and we don't just assign it these like blanket statements. And I think these blanket statements are actually really harmful because it produces shame, and shame doesn't build skills, and self-monitoring under fear doesn't necessarily create creativity. Learning does. Parenting in the past didn't fail. It adapted to the information and the environments that were available at the time, just like we can now. We have new data about nervous systems, new data about executive functionings and behaviors. Our strategies can evolve. I'll adjust you real quick. Okay. But if you find yourself reacting in ways that you wish that you didn't, it doesn't mean that you're repeating a cycle or that you're failing from healing from something. It means that you're human. You're operating under stress, you're using tools, and you're able to adjust them over time. Change doesn't require us to reject our parents or reject our past. It doesn't require us to question our entire upbringing or label ourselves as damaged. It requires learning new skills, practicing them in real environments, and giving your nervous system time to adapt. If you leave this video with anything, I want you to understand that growth isn't about undoing who you are. It's about expanding who you are based on your current environment and what is currently available to you.